Original sin is not a story about breaking the rules. It's a story about broken trust between creator and creation and the far-reaching consequences of that broken trust. When Jesus prayed, "Our Father," he wasn't just giving God a clever new name. He was restoring the ancient deception. He was mending the relational rupture that had caused all the conflicts in his created world and within the human soul. When Jesus showed up in the first century, the grounding story of that temple that taught people to pray was the Exodus. When God appeared as a pillar of cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night. Now that means a lot of things, but one of them is this, that the existential question of the ancient world was not, does God exist? Of course God exists. He's the pillar of fire stretching from the desert floor to the night sky, serving as our wilderness guide on this journey to the promised land. The question was, is God knowable? Because a pillar of fire doesn't provoke doubt in God's existence, but neither does it invite intimacy to know this God. The way that God revealed himself in the Exodus was mighty in power, but unless your name is Moses, there are some pretty tight limitations on how close you can come. Ancient Israel knew a God of cleansing rituals and animal sacrifices, a God of 10 plagues and blood on the doorpost, a God who parts seas and floods the earth, a God with a heavy hand of deliverance and an equally heavy hand of judgment. Now, Jesus did not introduce us to a new God. He was abundantly clear about that. I have not come to abolish the law of the prophets, but to fulfill them. And Jesus did absolutely nothing to minimize the power of that God, but Jesus did make that powerful God knowable. And that knowability sounded like our Father. Jesus prayed to the revered God of power and judgment with the familiarity of Father, and it was an attractive scandal. Scandalous for all the obvious reasons. How dare you? Who do you think you are? Do you know who you're talking to? But attractive for all the obvious reasons. God is knowable, even by me. And this guy, Jesus, seems to know exactly who he's talking to. Now, our modern Western world is a million miles from that first century, when our hearts, though, aren't so different from theirs. The number one obstacle the modern person continues to face today when it comes to prayer is the inability to believe in the love of God. It is the distrust that a God this mighty, this powerful, would actually become this intimate. Intimate even for beck and call conversation with someone like me. God is love, says 1 John. It's the sum total of who he is, concentrated down to just a single syllable. We buy that intellectually. We sing about it and celebrate it, but at a deeper level. Somewhere in our emotions, in our gut, in our bones, we struggle to trust it. And in a name, Jesus untangles the ancient deception that robs the human soul of the intimacy we were never created to live without.